Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Quick shout out to my newest patrons, Tom C., Craig T., and Jim M. Thank you for choosing to support the channel. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt as yesterday because it is that comfortable and I like it that much. And for those that asked where I got it, it's just a brand new shirt on the official SpaceX merch store. Getting into it, I heard Brian from Futuraza share this stat and I looked into it and it appears to be true. Tesla's Model 3 had somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 parts for the entire vehicle. The word is Cybercab will be about 50% of that, so let's call it 4,000 parts for the entirety of the Cybercab. The word on the street is that Waymo's sensor suite alone, meaning everything that Waymo has to add on to the vehicles it's getting from these third parties, is somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 parts. Said another way, the Cybercab in its entirety is roughly the same number of parts as just the sensor suite and the kit that Waymo needs to add to its vehicles. And yet we still have millions of people confused as to why people like us are saying Tesla has a structural advantage in the robotaxi space. Understandably right now, everybody is hyper-focused on robotaxis, Optimus, and anything AI related. But I have to say, I desperately wish more people appreciated the lengths Tesla is going to innovate with the electrical grid. It may not be the most entertaining topic ever, but the more I look into the current status of the grid and where things are headed with AI and data centers, the more I start to deeply appreciate all of the work Tesla is quietly doing. Like this new deal today between Tesla, Sunrun, and Renew Home. These three companies have announced an agreement to deliver more than 16 gigawatts of flexible energy capacity to hyperscalers and utilities. This agreement establishes a framework for three of the biggest players in home energy to aggregate millions of existing demand-side and energy exporting devices in states across the country into local turnkey solutions. And the magic here, this deal requires no additional hardware, software, interconnection, water, or land usage for off-taking parties. Deployable in months, not years, this capacity as a solution framework creates headroom on the existing grid by freeing up transmission capacity, easing congestion on distribution infrastructure, and extending the duration and depth of available capacity, all while helping American households lower energy bills, earn rewards, and power through outages. Together, the companies would form the largest distributed power plant in the country. The combined 16 gigawatt resource draws dispatchable capacity from hundreds of thousands of home battery systems operated by Sunrun and Tesla, alongside flexible peak capacity from more than 8 million smart thermostats and devices managed by Renew Home. When data centers are asked to throttle down operations during the most expensive and stressful hours of the day, they said we can activate our distributed power plants to help provide them power they need while also protecting American families from footing the bill for costly new infrastructure. And it really is sad to me when I think about how many millions of people would point at Elon and say bad, data centers bad, and have no idea that Tesla and Elon are out here creating deals like this to ease the pain for everyday people and to optimize the existing infrastructure and to come up with creative new solutions to provide these hyperscalers, aka data centers, more power by using the infrastructure already in place. And not only that, they're going to give hundreds of thousands of people the ability to earn credits from their utility bill when they opt in to this program. It's brilliant. It's largely an asset that already has all of the infrastructure in place. Somebody, likely Tesla, just needs to develop the software to get it to run smoothly. So not only is Elon pushing the envelope to move these data centers into space, but he's also now allowing everyday people to get paid for providing power already in place to these data centers so they can participate in this game. So absolutely use this as a talking point anytime Elon and or data centers are brought up, because I can almost guarantee you 99% of people will never hear about this deal. And even if they do, they won't actually understand what it means. In Virginia, the heart of Data Center Alley, these companies already have more than 300 megawatts of capacity readily available for immediate deployment. By 2030, that figure is expected to grow to at least 500 megawatts, rivaling some of of the biggest generation facilities in the state. That as installations of home batteries and smart thermostats ramp up. And if you're wondering how these smart thermostats can play into the story, when homes with those devices opt in to this program during certain high usage times of the day, the software running this system will raise the temperature of those thermostats to lower the electricity use from those AC units, easing the stress on the grid, redirecting some of that power elsewhere, and compensating those homeowners in the process. Which, yes, is another ancillary benefit for owning battery storage at your home. Given the unprecedented race for power, hyperscalers interested in securing these local energy resources are encouraged to engage immediately, as available capacity will be allocated on a first-come, first-served basis. Together, the companies have also committed to provide capacity to PJM's proposed reliability backstop process. And PJM is just one of the biggest regional transmission companies in the country. If accepted, PJM would immediately unlock over a gigawatt of capacity today. In short, right now, PJM is facing some serious capacity shortfalls, as we know bringing new power capacity online takes years thanks to the interconnection queues. But these three companies, one of which being Tesla, are flying in with their capes on to provide up to a gigawatt of power right now. Once again, without having to build out new infrastructure. New analysis from the Brattle Group found better utilization of the existing power grid could reduce US electricity bills by between $110 and $170 billion over the next decade, and could accelerate data center interconnection by several years. These three companies designed this framework to capture exactly that dual benefit. Hyperscalers come online faster and costs go down for everyone. And finally, just some of the benefits: better grid utilization, lower rates for everyone, innovative customer offers and experiences for those that opt in, savings and rewards for those same households that opt in, latent existing capacity, aka better utilization of the hardware already in place, and using that power capacity that otherwise would sit on the sidelines, the speed to new capacity, as we talked about, national coverage, and joint market development. This new joint capacity delivery framework can give these companies like data centers and utilities a trusted source for gigawatts of flexible capacity by cutting through the complexity of managing multiple resource developers and accelerating the path from need to deployment. Said another way, it's a giant nationwide virtual power plant with assets aggregated across all three of these companies for solar, battery storage, and these smart home thermostats. So this is of course great for these three companies and for the demand for their products given this extra utility. It's great for data centers and the utilities, and it'll be great for homeowners and even those outside of the VPP that will benefit from the alleviation during those times when the grid is stressed. And it's literally just using the hardware that's in place. Brilliant. Another quick heads up, Fanttik, the sponsor of this video, is running its big Prime Day sale right now, so if you've been waiting to try out a Fanttik product, now would be a great time. And yes, the ever popular X10 Cross multi-purpose inflator that so many of you love is on sale. And remember, it's not just to inflate tires, but it works for balls and pool floats, water toys, air mattresses, and so on. I keep mine in my frunk at all times, so I never have to stop at a gas station for air, and it also has a strong flashlight for using it at night. Plus, the X10 doubles as a power bank and has pretty incredible battery life. I could easily refill more than 10 tires, adding more than 10 PSI to each one on a single charge. And Fanttik has a variety of products. We know Tesla's historically had soft paint and it's made improvements, but the Fanttik P10 Pro Mini Polisher does have a low speed design when it comes to RPMs, which is great for use on a Tesla. The P10 only weighs half a pound, it's cordless, it runs up to 50 minutes on a charge, and it's designed for the areas that full-size polishers usually can't reach. It has 3 variable speeds, it comes with a full kit of polishing and sanding pads, and it's quiet enough at 65 decibels that you can detail in your garage without waking up your neighbors. So if you'd like to support the channel and grab my discounts, all of the links and the coupon codes are in the description below. Tesla's Cybertruck was awarded the 2026 Top Safety Pick Plus rating, and the only 2 categories where it was not good. It received a marginal for seatbelt reminders and acceptable for latch ease of use. And yes, the Cybertruck was the safest truck And yes, the Cybertruck was the safest truck tested and the only one to get the IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus label. And just so you know, there's no new rating for the Model Y or Model 3 for 2026. The Model Y still has the highest rating, the Top Safety Pick Plus, but it's from last year really because there were no structural changes from that vehicle. And last year, the Model 3 only got the Top Safety Pick, it did not get the Plus. Part of the problem was actually headlights, but we won't go into details on that. But the big change for the Cybertruck and why it was re-evaluated this year, the front underbody structure and the driver footwell area. Tesla updated the geometry and stiffened certain parts, and that led to better crash worthiness and ultimately the Top Safety Pick Plus. And it really is so rewarding when you think back to all of the headlines like this from the past few years. Report, Elon's Cybertrucks are deadlier than the infamous Ford Pintos. But no, actually, no, they're not. This one was interesting. Out at sea, we have Marlink and Oldendorf carriers expanding their partnership, but this deal moves beyond simple hardware installation by shifting the fleet's data consumption model to a unified, flexible, shared pool of monthly data capacity. This hybrid network allows Oldendorf to dynamically allocate LEO bandwidth across its fleet based on shifting geographic operational workflows and crew welfare demands. Historically, these commercial vessels relied entirely on geostationary satellites orbiting more than 35 kilometers above the equator. While geo networks provide broad coverage, their extreme distance introduces inherent high latency lag and restricted upload speeds. Enter Starlink. And Marlink's onboard smart routing hardware continuously checks the signal health, latency, and cost profile of each connection, automatically routing critical ship-to-shore vessel telematics through the most stable link, while offloading data-heavy crew internet traffic to the Starlink broadband stream. And in this space, there's a broader maritime compliance trend where ship owners are increasingly treating high-speed onboard Wi-Fi as a vital tool for crew retention rather than a luxury, which probably says a lot about our culture right now, but that's a separate video. But seriously, when you think about people that are at sea for months at a time that can't do video calls with family, they can't stream anything, they're limited with games they can play to pass the time, which most of you already know, but at this point we now have over 15 major shipping providers that have publicly committed to large-scale Starlink deployments. Slate Auto, the bare bones EV truck starting under $25,000, is getting closer to production. The CEO just said every vehicle produced will be gross margin positive. That will lead the company to positive free cash flow and EBITDA by 2027. We'll see. They said their break-even point is about 80,000 vehicles per year, which would be just over half of the 150,000 unit production capacity they plan to have at its assembly plant in Warsaw, Indiana. Basically, every truck off the line will be identical, but there will be plenty of customization options after the fact. One of which will be Slate's offering of more than 100 standard wrap colors for under $500. And the vehicle is so basic that the speakers are optional and it has hand crank windows, which of course you can upgrade. And the truck can be converted into a 5-passenger SUV for an additional $5,000. The estimated EV range is 205 miles with 181 horsepower. Deliveries are expected to begin in Q4 this year, and the CEO said, "We're going to constantly take a look at what our options are. Certainly going public will be one. 2027 is probably too soon in my book. I think we'll want to really make sure we're launching and scaling the business well." Slate has already received more than 180,000 reservations for its vehicles and is officially opening up pre-orders today. Slate will initially offer more than 175 accessories with over 80 under $500, including things like roof racks, stereos, and light covers. Slate's vehicle does not feature any connectivity like a modem or large screens, just a small driver info screen for range, speed, and other standard gauges. Instead of a center infotainment system, drivers can use their own devices like a smartphone or tablet for navigation and music. And to save money and time, the exteriors of the Slate vehicles will not be painted. They were engineered to be wrapped with a vinyl film. Right now, Slate is building about 3 vehicles every day, but they still need to go through the required federal vehicle validation evaluation and certification for things like range, safety, and other aspects. Slate has not yet ruled out the addition of 4-door models, but right now its sole focus is on the 2-door pickup and the ability to convert it to an SUV. It's also exclusively a rear-wheel drive vehicle, and Slate did say they plan to go direct to customer rather than through franchise dealers. I'm certainly intrigued by this one. I'm definitely rooting for them. I would love to see more affordable electric options on the road. And given the a la carte type menu here, I think that will attract some people to build your own, if you will. But we'll find out if 200 miles of range is going to be enough. Now, you and I know that for 90% of people, that's plenty for day-to-day use. But the perception out there, for whatever reason, is that, well, if I don't have 400 miles of range, I'm going to be stranded almost every day. So thank you, media, for that perception. Zoox just announced the redesign of its robotaxi, the one people are now calling the toaster, but it has higher quality touchscreens, more comfortable seats and headrests, along with some exterior tweaks so people can better distinguish the front from the back. And the updates come as Zoox is plotting expansion in additional markets and preparing to charge for rides later this year. Zoox also just said it has served more than 500,000 riders since it opened service in Las Vegas last September. Zoox currently offers free rides in parts of Las Vegas and San Francisco, and it's allowing select users to hail its robotaxis in small areas in Miami and Austin, Texas. It's also testing in 6 other US cities. In March, Zoox struck a partnership with Uber to make its robotaxis available through its ride-hailing app in Las Vegas. And in March, Zoox signed a deal with Uber. And in March, Zoox did sign a deal with Uber to make its robotaxis available on the platform. But it's still waiting on approval from NHTSA for that exemption to deploy up to 2,500 of its vehicles on public roads commercially. Zoox did say the redesigned robotaxi is its production intent vehicle, and they expect to introduce the model to its fleet later this year. And they said they will soon begin large-scale production of its robotaxis at its manufacturing site in the Bay Area that opened last June. And eventually, they plan to produce 10,000 vehicles a year once it's at full scale. And Tesla just dropped a new trunk organizer for the Model Y. It's $245, but it looks rather modular and customizable with the ability to lay flat. Tesla stock closed the day at $375.53, down 1.59%, while SpaceX closed the day at $154.54, down 1.01%, and the NDX was down 0.43%. Don't forget, check out Fanttik linked below. That X10 Cross is an absolute essential in all of my vehicles. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.